Presentar a alguien que todos estamos muy emocionados de escuchar, comediante, actor y creador de contenido. Zach ha utilizado su plataforma para luchar contra la desinformación y el antisemitismo. Desde el 7 de octubre ha combinado su humor con activismo, exponiendo verdades incómodas y defendiendo la justicia para Israel y el pueblo judío. Su enfoque demuestra que el humor es una poderosa herramienta de resistencia y de sanación. Por favor, un aplauso a todos para Zach Sage.
Is this on? Hello. Thank you. I have no clue what you just said, but I'm assuming it was really nice, so thank you. I appreciate that. What's up, guys? So great to be here. Let's give it up for Mexico City. Yeah. Amazing, amazing. What a great name for a city. You just call it the country. I love it. I love it. We need to rename New York. We'll just call it United States City. But no, it's so great to be here with you guys today. You may not know this, but I'm a Jew. Yeah, unless I'm in the West Bank, then I'm Italian. Yeah, no, but it's true. I'm Jewish, and it's been a tough year for the Jewish people. It has been a really hard year. Anti-Semitism has spread on college campuses like herpes. It's been bad. It's been a rough year. And, okay, people don't know what the translation to that is. No, but it's been tough, and one of the things that's gotten me through it has just being able to connect with so many Jewish people throughout my journey, and, you know, through social media. And so what I really want to talk to you guys about today is social media and how you guys can create the same type of content that I've been creating here in Mexico. And not only that you can create it, but that you need to create it. So, you know, there's a big range of ages here. And, you know, it's amazing that so many people from kids to, you know, older people are watching my videos, because it really means that we're at a moment where social media is the medium. You know, everyone has access to it, and we're all watching that more than we're watching television now. And so I'll tell you a little bit more about my story, and then we'll get to my thesis. But by the end of this, I hope that you guys are inspired to pick up your phones and fight the PR war for Israel and for the Jewish people, because we need it, and we can do it, and we are so creative as a people that I know we can be winning hearts and minds through the internet in the next few years, and that it will change everything for the Jewish people. So, like I said, my name's Zach. I'm from Philadelphia. I don't know if you guys have been. It's where the country got started, but it peaked pretty quickly after that. So I'm from Philadelphia, and I really did get to live what I would consider the American dream. I don't. Is there a Mexico dream? Do you guys have that too? You guys have your own version? By the way, it was great coming down past the Gulf of America on this trip. It was amazing. Beautiful view from my flight. But no, I really got to live what I consider the American dream. And I'm only able to live that dream because my ancestors, all of my great-grandparents and a few of my great-great-grandparents, they all fled the pogroms of Europe, right when things were getting really bad for Jews just several years before the Holocaust. And so my connection to this part of the equator was that my great-grandfather, David Rotman, who I got to meet when I was a little kid, he was an amazing man, but he actually came to America when he was 13 years old, by himself. That's how bad things had gotten for Jews. He came down to America by himself right after his bar mitzvah. I don't know about you guys, but I was not ready to go on a solo trip by myself across the world to live. But I have so much respect for him because he gets here by himself, and he was turned down at the US border because there were quotas. And so, like Mexico, Central America, South America, they were more open to Jews coming in the 20s and fleeing persecution. So my great-grandfather spent 10 years in Brazil, where he started his life, and he pushed around a cart, you know, like a fruit cart, going door to door, selling dry goods in Brazil. And he came to America 10 years later, just by luck of the draw that he had a cousin who was finally able to recommend him and have him come. And I kept thinking about that on this trip because it's like, all you guys have the same story. The only difference was maybe that random chance cousin didn't bring them to the US after, or they fell in love with this part of the world. But you know, our stories are all so connected. And because of that, we are so connected as a people. And so when 10/7 happened, all I could think about was how lucky I was to have gotten the privilege to live the American dream. I started my own company when I was 17 years old. I started a film and TV studio, got a big deal with Disney Channel, moved out to Los Angeles, ended up attending an Ivy League college after, got to make movies in my early 20s as a director and a writer, and I was always just so aware that there was so much blood and sweat by my ancestors who literally had to flee their little shtetls in the pogroms because they were burning their houses down, their businesses down. The same story that every one of you guys has in this audience today. And so, when 10/7 happened, me and my Israeli business partner, who we went to Jewish day school together, we've known each other since we were 7, we were so horrified by what had happened on October 7th that I think we were even more horrified what happened in the days after. October 8th, October 9th, all of the heroes that we had grown up with in Hollywood were silent. Or at least almost all of them, completely silent. And I really think that was even more shocking than 10/7. You know, there was a feeling on 10/7, I remember watching the news that night, and I remember thinking to myself, you know, the one solace that I had hearing about all this horrible news was that, you know, at least we have made such a big impact in the media, right? For how much, we don't control the media, but there's a lot of Jews in it. And, you know, I kept thinking, okay, at least we got the PR side of this. You know, we'll be okay. We have Adam Sandler, we have Larry David, we have Seth Rogen, we have Jon Stewart, we have Mila Kunis, we have Sarah Jessica Parker, we have the list goes on and on and on. And, you know, I spent so many years in Hollywood, living out in Los Angeles, going to parties with these people, making shows and movies with these people. And I really just believed that, you know, starting the next day, this was the moment we'd all been prepping for, that because Jews all have the exact same story, that we are where we are today because of persecution. Also, this mic is like so loud. Okay. This is the voice of God. Hashem. Also, I look like the devil. I got very sunburned. Your sun is very hot here. It's a big one. But, you know, I kept thinking on October 7th, you know, at least we have made such progress. We had 75 years in America, especially at least for Hollywood, that we will make sure that, you know, what happened after the Holocaust, this nihilism of the Holocaust, we'll make sure that doesn't happen again. And all of these Jews in Hollywood are going to be there. And me and my business partner could not get over in the days afterwards the silence. It shook us to our very core. And all of our idols had let us down instrumentally. And the crazy thing is, after a year and a half, not much has changed. There's been a few people that have really surprised me. David Schwimmer's become a good friend of mine. Ross from Friends, he's been amazing. Seinfeld's been great. You know, there's a few, but I don't even know if I could list them on one hand. Like, it might be less than 5 really outspoken A-listers in Hollywood that are Jewish. Deborah Messing's been incredible. I know we all see her. But, you know, me and my business partner both just, you know, felt, and he's Israeli, half Israeli, and his name's Omri, most Israeli name ever. But we just felt like we thought so much about if our heroes are letting us down. When we were these kids in Jewish day school, these were the people we looked up to that gave us hope to be proud Jews. You know, we were doing the math, all of us in society, we were doing the wrong equation. We were going, Jewish person, famous, Jewish hero. But the problem was these heroes that we were deeming, they were picked in a casting couch because they happened to fit the part of, you know, someone on that 70s show. You know, they happened to fit this role well. There was no audition process for whether they were brave, or whether they were strong, or whether they really, you know, gave much of a crap about their community, their Jewish community. And so we said, let's be, you know, we can't change that. But we can be the heroes for those young Jewish kids that we were just a few years ago. We can do that. That we have power over. And we run this company in New York. By this point, our company was pretty well recognized in New York. We were Forbes 30 under 30. And, you know, for our age, you know, we were in our 20s. Our company was something that we had some leverage and power that we could do good with. And so immediately we started forming different deals with Jewish nonprofits, and one by one just started making more and more viral videos. The first videos would get 5 million, 10 million. We had ones that would get 20 million views. And very quickly we saw that we were making an impact. And it just fueled us to keep going, to keep producing. And you guys see me up here. My company probably produces 10 times the amount of videos that I'm personally the face of, because I can only be in so many things in a given moment, and I want to make sure that I'm giving good ideas out to other creators that I admire a lot. But we've raised millions of dollars to fight the PR war, and I'm really proud of the work we've done over the last year and a half. But I'm changing my tone a little bit, because at the very beginning, my hope was maybe our videos will inspire celebrities to come out of their shells. Maybe if we can make content that is so impactful, so factual, so truthful, right? That the celebrities like the Adam Sandlers of the world, the Mila Kunis, they'll come out, they'll actually start being active, they'll start speaking up, we'll inspire them. I was wrong. Nothing against these people, you don't have to be a bad person if you're not speaking up, but they're in their Hollywood mansions, they don't care, they just don't. And it's a blunt truth that I've had to accept over the last year and a half. They just don't care. They are so wealthy, they are so privileged, that they don't have the same gut feeling that we all in this room have today, which is that, what was the point of our ancestors fleeing the hell that they fled if we were going to be silent at a moment like this? It's true. So, I hope I'm wrong. I hope we do start seeing more and more people coming out. But I think what we just saw with the hostage parades, whatever you want to call it, doesn't look like a parade I've ever been to. If they weren't going to come out and say anything in those moments, when the Beavis babies were brought back in coffins, being celebrated, cheered, if they weren't going to say anything in that moment, I think we can probably expect that they're not going to say anything. And a few of them did, like Sacha Baron Cohen's one of my biggest idols. I wish he would do even more, but he did post a video that day honoring, there are some moments we're seeing people come out of their shells, and we have to give them credit because we don't want to insult them, we want them to keep coming out. But we're in a tough time, and we can't look to Hollywood to tell our story anymore. I don't know if you guys watch our Oscars too, but our Oscars we just had last week were an absolute disgrace. An absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. And let's just be honest about what we saw. Kieran Culkin seems like a nice, funny guy, not a Jew, got casted as a Jew to play a movie about the Holocaust where they shot at Auschwitz. Not one mention of Jews or the Holocaust in his entire acceptance speech. That is disgraceful. And it doesn't make me happy calling these people out, but I'm calling them out because it's true. That's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. We had actors up there, Timothy Chalamet. It's not disgraceful that he didn't say anything about the hostages, but damn it, that guy is probably the most famous Jew in the country. It would mean a lot to a lot of people if he said something about what we're going through right now. I think the actress who won the best Oscar, you can't say disgraceful or not bad, they don't have to mention it, but damn it, would it make so many Jews feel better, feel more seen. So, Hollywood's not coming to tell our story anymore. Unfortunately, the thousands of people who have been involved in making movies and shows about the Holocaust have almost nothing to say. So if I had to guess, they were just doing that because it gave them a minority point in Hollywood. It's a city that's run by minority points. And so I think it gave them the ability to make a project to win an Oscar. Again, I don't want to crap on Jesse Eisenberg, never met him, don't know the guy. Has he posted anything about what's happened in the last year and a half? It's amazing he made a great movie. But why did he make that? If he really cares about the Holocaust, there's an actual, murdering of Jews right now happening in Gaza. It's happening right now. So if he really cares about the Holocaust, the stories are so connected. It's part of the same story. You can't tell one now without telling the other. And so, here's where things get positive. Here's where I'm going to post some positivity into your brains. Because as much as it upsets me that Hollywood's not coming for us, they're not going to tell our story correctly, the media's not going to come and tell our story, we now have the power to tell our story without those motherfuckers. We don't need them. We don't need them. I've become one of the most famous Jews in the country, in the world, and I'm doing it on my phone. We're doing it through social media. We don't need the networks. We don't need Hollywood. My company is a big film and TV studio. We do some things with Hollywood, but you don't need it. You have the internet now. So we don't need it. Look at this Johnny Daniels. Like, we were just talking the other day. I've become friends with him, but I'm getting to know him more. And it was the same thing. It's like he stepped up after 10/7 because of that void that he saw in the media not telling our story. And look at him now. He was a guy who was doing Hasbara in his personal time, but now we've made him a star. We've made Caroline a star. We made you a star. And so this is how I see the new equation. We were doing it wrong for a long time, and it's okay. You don't see what people are really like until something really hard happens. And so we can't go back to the 10/7 world. Adam Sandler's no Jewish hero. He's just not. He's very talented. I would love to work with him, but he's not a Jewish hero. He doesn't want to be, so that's fine. We don't need him. Jesse Eisenberg, it's amazing he made a movie about the Holocaust. Applaud him for that. You can't say he's not, but like, he's staying in his specific lane. He obviously doesn't want to bring up Israel because he's afraid of the woke Hollywood. That's fine. So let them do their thing. Let Hollywood's going to do what Hollywood's going to do. But the best part about social media is that you guys are a part of it. My videos go viral because I make something and then you share it with the whole freaking world. How cool is that? Like, not only is that cool, that's holy. If you told me a couple years ago that I would be famous amongst my own people, my own community in Mexico City without having a show or a movie, like it's coming from things you're watching on your phone, it's a whole new landscape. So the new equation for how we're going to find our Jewish heroes, how we're going to create our Jewish rock stars, it's not going to be, hey, Seth Rogen was discovered on a casting couch for Freaks and Geeks in 1997 and he's Jewish and makes Jewish jokes, so we're going to look to that guy to be a spokesperson for the Jews. No, we're done with that. Hollywood's on his deathbed anyway. It's always going to exist and it's never going to be what it was. It's going to be a smaller thing. The new equation is we take people like Johnny. Wow, that guy's brave. That guy gets it. That guy's fighting for us. He's speaking truth. Let's share his stuff. Let's make him a star. Let's make Caroline a star. Let's make me a star. Keep sharing my stuff. But this is how we're going to do it. And, think about this. If this is the impact that we're able to make now, just a year and a half after 10/7, Hollywood's only getting smaller, social media is only getting bigger, we're going to have so many Jewish rock stars that got famous and became Jewish heroes to you guys for the right reasons. They became heroes because they were heroes, and then we gave them a voice. Then we made them powerful. And I think that is so freaking exciting. It's awesome. I know I hear a lot of negativity about social media, and I get it. I was very negative on social media for a few years until I really started putting my blood and sweat into it. But there was a couple of years where I was really sad Hollywood was shrinking. It is. Hollywood is as someone who's been in the industry from its heyday, when I first got on Disney, it was like 2011, Hollywood was peak. Movies were as big as they could be, television shows on TV were as big as they could be. It's a shell of what it used to be, a shell. The money, there's not culture where everyone's talking about shows and movies at the same time, but they're talking about social media. I have people going to me all the time, they're like, my family loves your stuff, we all share it, like, that's awesome. That's the new sitcom that you sit around your couch for, that's it. And so, we're in a moment right now for the Jewish people where I genuinely think there is something spiritual about social media. And I can tell you this because I always get asked, why do you speak up? And to me the question is that why I speak up is, why aren't more people speaking up? And I think, at least at this moment, I think the biggest reason people don't speak up is because they're afraid of the bad things that could happen. They're not thinking about all the good things that could happen. And I can tell you, as someone who went into this because I knew it was the right thing to do, but I genuinely didn't know the outcome. I didn't know if my career would be screwed or not. I didn't know. I really didn't know. At the beginning, I took a risk. But my career has catapulted because, there's so much beauty that, and I don't just mean my career in that sense, like the meaning I get out of my career now. I get messages from Jews and allies and people who care about the West, not just Jews, Christians. I get messages from moderate Muslims every day. They warm my heart, they fuel my soul. They're telling me every day that they appreciate what I'm doing. They tell me their stories of anti-Semitism, their fears of radical Islam in the West and in the Middle East and in Asia and all over the corner. If that isn't spiritual, if that isn't holy, a connection that the diaspora of Jews and people who are aligned with our values, right? If there isn't something holy about the fact that for the first time ever, we're sharing culture, we're sharing media, We're watching influencers from Israel, America. We're all connected in a brand new way. Johnny just showed me, and I'm really giving you a lot of credit, he just showed me an app now where it's like literally can turn my voice, anyone's voice, into a different language in like 2 seconds. Which means that we're only going to become even more connected as a people. The opportunity for the diaspora to connect is in a brand new level. We are never going to be these Jews that are spread out and isolated and only connected by culture, but we are going to be connected by communication, even more and more and more. And so this is a great moment in time. I know it's hard to see it, but I really do. I'm an optimistic guy. I know we're dealing with a lot right now, but Israel's got better days ahead. It's got a friend in the White House. I'm an independent. I'm like not one of these like MAGA diehards, but Donald Trump is doing a damn hell of a job for the Jewish people right now. He is. You don't have to agree with him on everything. I certainly don't. But on fighting anti-Semitism in America, it's not just him, his team, Pam Bondi, all these guys. They are going after the anti-Semites in our country. They're going after the pro-Hamas supporters that have been able to run free on the streets of America for the last year and a half under Joe Biden. Major disappointment. I voted for that guy. Major disappointment. So, where are we at now? How can you guys be proactive? As much as my instinct tells me not to create more competition for myself, I want you guys to compete with me. Because everybody now has the power to be an influencer, right? And I'm telling you, if you were saying the right thing, if you're putting out the right message, the Jewish community is going to elevate you to new heights. There is such a passion in our community right now to share our truth, to share our stories. And anyone can become a star. I mean, genuinely, like anyone in this room could be a Jewish rock star by next year, at this exact time next year. Social media creates stars that quickly. And like I said, we're creating stars for the right reasons versus just like Hollywood put this, like we're finally doing it for the right reasons. And so, you know, I'm gonna open it up to a Q&A. I love talking to my fans and people who follow me. And I wanna hear what questions you guys have for me. But, you know, I really, really want you guys to have some optimism. Social media is being weaponized against us in possibly the scariest way ever. It's made anti-Semitism go viral in corners of the earth that people don't even know Jews will never meet a Jew, and that's really scary. But we also have an opportunity to turn it on its head. We have an opportunity to make it the biggest superpower that God has ever given the Jewish people. We do. We have the opportunity. People don't know about Israel. Most people are never going to be able to afford to fly to Israel. But we can create stories from Israel and bring them out into the world. We can share the truth. We can quite literally be the light in the darkness and shine that light through social media across the world. So that's my story. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. And let's just take it up to questions. Do we have a mic I can pass the audience?